everyone, it's Robin, R Silent Crafts, and welcome to my studio. This is my Whip It Wednesday video where I show you the crafty goodness that I've been working on. We are going old school today because I have a lot of little things to show you and it's just easier to see them if I put them down on the table. I crammed a lot in a little bit of time this week. It's been a busy house. I lived in my house in Florida for just over 20 years. And I can't remember ever having a guest come over. Maybe that says something about me and not about how long I lived in my house in Florida. But anywho, at the end of May, we had one guest over, my son Robbie. He had a friend come over and spent the weekend. And then this past week, my daughter was home on vacation and she had a friend that came in from Florida that was just missing her too much and just came to stay with us for a while. They went shopping and did hiking and all of that. And it's just that difference in the house, the in and out, the slight interruptions. It just kind of sets off my creativity and I didn't get a lot done. But what I did do is I finished up the zipper pouches. They are all listed in the shop. You guys saw them last week. This week, they're just finished. Keep an eye on the community tab. I'm trying to practice getting something in the community tab, whether it's daily or every other day. I don't know if daily is going to be it for me, but maybe 3 times a week might work. Sometimes you might get it 3 days in a row. I'm trying to work on that part of it. But yes, I'm trying to put more in the community tab, little snippets of what I'm working on, or something fun I found, or just a recipe, conversation, anything. You never know what I might put up there, because I don't know what I might put up there. But keep an eye on the community tab. In the very least, you'll see when projects are finished and into the shop. So if there's something you had your eye on, or you're just curious to see how far I've gotten on it, check the community tab. It should show up on your little home page here as you're scrolling through looking for videos. It'll just come up like that. The next thing that I want to work on is posting a bit more regularly on Instagram, which will also include reels and shorts here on YouTube. So that's a lot to work on this summer. But for now, I'm starting with the community tab. There's no sense taking a big bite when you can take little bites. What is the joke or the saying, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. One thing at a time. Don't commit to too much and you might actually accomplish something. At least that's how I look at it. My patrons and I have started our house quilt-along journey. I don't know if I'm going to show these all the time or just collect some up and then show them to you when I have a bunch. But this is what we're working on. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything wonky in this quilt, but I do have several ideas just to mark the passage of time throughout the year. Some fun fabrics. And it's just fun making houses. I don't know. My brain is not making connections today. My apologies. Another good reason to have this view versus the face on, because you would just look at me and I would have that blank look on my face all the time. So if you're one of my patrons and you want to know all of my ideas, I did post a video the first Sunday of June. Go ahead and watch that and you'll get all of my good ramblings. For everyone here on YouTube, you'll just see the houses as they get going. I think I'll probably do it maybe once a month, but on Patreon, I show them more periodically. I know on Patreon, you'll see them at least once a month. I don't know how often I will pop them up here, so we'll just see. I haven't worked on any since I worked on these, so I guess it really doesn't matter if I show them or don't, because this is it. These houses were a lot of fun to work on. There are so many house quilt patterns that you can choose. Find one that you like, that you enjoy, or just find 12 of them and use them all in the same quilt. It really doesn't matter. It's such a versatile block. And while we're speaking Patreon group, we did a quilt along at the first half of 2024, and we did the Christmas Stars quilt along. And I have fabric left over because I always overbuy because I worry about not having enough. And then I find something that I like, so I just buy extra of it. So with the extra fabric leftovers, or just to do this on your own, you don't need to have any extra fabric leftovers. We went ahead and made whirligigs, windmills, pinwheels, a different form of a pinwheel than we normally think of. We just had a bit of fun. And in normal Robin fashion, I made a little too many. I'm aiming for a 20-inch quilted pillow, which would mean I would probably need about 5 by 5. And since I just cut a bunch and made a bunch, I have extra. I'll turn them into coasters, mug rugs, something. There's always something you can do with the extra blocks or your leftover bits of fabric. I love the way the contrast is on some of these blocks. This process between the stars and these little whirligigs here, they really taught me a lot. If you want a quick value in, not like an in-depth one on how to do contrasting fabrics or values and stuff, just enough that if you use a variety of fabrics and you look at it, you can see there is 100% difference between some of the fabrics you may choose and put together, and then other fabrics and how they react with the different colors that you use. So some fabrics will stand out really well and other fabrics get really muddy. So I definitely love the way the contrast works on some of these. These 4 are some of my favorite blocks here, but overall it's going to match the star quilt. So the star quilt is really kind of wild and crazy, and a quilted pillow cover will be also wild and crazy. So we'll see what happens with this and what I choose to do. Definitely a pillow, but maybe I can make it a larger pillow, make it more of a floor pillow. I have to look and see what inserts are available online, because there's no point making a pillow for the Etsy shop if nobody can use it as a pillow. It just becomes a wall hanging. One of my plans this summer is to get caught up on my Patreon projects. I do a lot of them and I get to this point and then I'm kind of stuck because I move on to the next week and I need to do this video and that video and I need to do this and that for home stuff. And then I have the business things you have to take care of. And just like any of us, we all have our things that sidetrack us and keep us from actually finishing the projects. So my goal is to pull out a couple each week and get them finished. I got nothing done this week, people. Nothing done this week at all. As you can see, I just moved on to something else. So let me show you what I did work on this weekend. YouTube, I'm going to call it the universe, but YouTube has been suggesting video after video after video for the jar openers. Now I did a tutorial on them before. I'll go ahead and put that as the pinned comment so you guys can go ahead and check out that tutorial. But they keep showing me more and more videos. People going to craft fairs. I've been watching the crocheters doing their craft fairs, and then I started watching anyone else that might be going to a craft fair. I don't know what it is. Several of us, I've been hearing a lot of YouTube people talking about how they're watching the people that are building up their products and making their products, getting ready for the craft fairs. And one of the things that I ran into is someone was making 600 of these in a month. I don't have a total here, but I think it's over 60. My goal was 30 of the large ones for the regular jars and then 30 of the small ones for the water bottles. And instead of just sitting here and doing nothing, I planned on showing you each one individually. So let's look at these. These will be in the shop once I actually get photographs and get everything listed. I really don't think you're going to see this today, Wednesday, as you view this video, but I'm hoping to have them up at least by Friday. So it has the shelf liner, and on this version I decided to do the X because as I've been using mine and running it through the washer and stuff like that, now they say you shouldn't put them through the washer and dryer, but I go ahead and I run mine through the washer. If you're washing on cool, cold, warm water, it's not going to affect the shelf liner. High temperatures, the dryer, definitely a no-no. And hot water in the wash machine is a no-no because this is just a rubber mat. You don't want to ruin it. But as I've been using mine, I notice it makes it a little difficult to put it onto the jar like this and to twist it. The top piece and the bottom piece have been separating. So I went through and on both sizes, I put the X's on. So let's look at the fun fabrics that I've chosen. I am in love with this strawberry fabric. Strawberries are really big on Instagram right now, whether they are fresh strawberries or strawberry patchwork, strawberry fabrics. It's all, how about a donut? It's all really popular right now. So I have my tag here. What another person was doing for their craft fair is they had a tag that sticks out like this, so that if you want to hang it up, you can just run a piece of ribbon or cord or something through here and you can hang it up that way. I find they work just as great just sitting in the drawer or on the counter. So I went through, and you guys, if you're checking the community tab, you'll have seen that I posted a big stack of fabric. I was cutting everything out on Friday and a little bit of Saturday. Then I did all the thing where you have 3 layers of, 3 layers, yes, but not 3 layers of fabric. So in here, there's 2 layers of fabric and then the shelf liner. Now for this version, since I picked these up at Walmart and it's a brown creamy tan version versus white, I had a tan based fabric that I used for the back of this instead of using 2 pieces of the novelty fabric. So that leaves me novelty fabric for something else, and I just use a fabric that I don't reach for all the time but matches perfectly. So you can not see it through the holes. I mean, you can see the color, but it's not like you're going to see a bunch of violins or something. I think I'm going to list these separately in the shop, meaning that you'll have an option of purchasing the large ones in a listing or 2, and then the small water bottle ones in a listing or 2. That way you can choose, because maybe you want to have the bumblebees and this one, but if I'd have listed it somewhere randomly like these 2, you might not want both of those. So that'll allow you to pick and choose which ones you want. I struggle with getting the cap off of water bottles nowadays. The caps are much smaller because they're saving on their cost and the amount of plastic they use. So they have not as tall caps. So if you look at like an old-fashioned 2-liter bottle or a bottle of Sprite or Coke or something like that, the caps used to be really tall, and now everything's gotten smaller, and the water bottles seem to get smaller and smaller. So I have a hard time just holding on to that and turning it. So if anyone else is having trouble with their hands, some type of an arthritic issue or something like this. Now I tried to duplicate the doubles of the fabric so that whatever's here is over there, but I don't know that I hit it perfectly. Now I still need to go through and trim all of the threads. You should be able to see it a lot easier with the black threads. I still need to trim all of these threads on the big ones, but the little ones are ready to go. Like, I don't think I have a small one of this one, but I have a big one, so that's fun. There's that strawberry fabric again. Isn't that, it really looks, I just think it looks very pretty. It looks like it was a Sharpie marker that colored them in versus being painted, and I love the polka dots. This is another fabric that I only have a small amount left that I am hoarding for a special project. Same thing with this one. This one has, you can't really see it, but here's an owl, and then it has the flowers and the birds. And on that version, I think there's just a bird. Yes, so there is a different bird on it. So again, to be repetitive, I need to trim all of these off, get all of the photographs done in groups and separately, and then get them listed in the shop. Oh, there's the motorcycle. I wasn't sure if I had 2 of those. The heart paw prints, there's only, I don't know that I put a second one of those in the small one, so there may only be the large version of this guy here. I don't know if I made the small one. I don't think I made 2 mustaches. And apparently I was on a roll, so I have 2 of the Harry Potter lightnings. A lot of Fiesta, sunflowers. Love the bright colors in these. A very subtle seashells with the gray. Another favorite fabric. And I'm not a violin musical type person like this, although I wish I had learned how to play the violin. I know I could learn as an older person, but there's no way my fingers can do that now. They are too stiff to do that. But I do love the fabric, and I think it has to do with, it's something different. It has the different colors for the violin, and it's just a fun fabric. Simple ones if you want a neutral jar opener in your kitchen. And there we go, dozens and dozens of them. So if there's any ones that you want, just give me a nudge if you don't see them in the shop by Friday. If you want to make sure you get one, go ahead and take a screenshot or be very descriptive and tell me whether you want the jar opener, the large jar opener, or the small bottle openers. And then I'll go ahead and make a special listing just for you. I have to check the numbers and pop them into the calculator, but these are going to be very reasonably priced. I'm trying to have small craft fair items and try to keep them at the same price that everyone's putting them into their craft fairs. And really, that's about it. I worked on these Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they're still not completely done. I've mentioned it before, someone's supposed to stop me from making more than 20 of something, making 30, 40, 50, 60. Robin, you're crazy. But they'll be in the shop, and these are really great for Christmas gifts. You can bundle them up with other items, a hot pad, a pot holder. Maybe you want to make something and then throw this in. Or if you're doing a pasta basket for someone, those are a really fun gift, the food baskets. If you have something that has like jar in it, you can add in a jar opener. So your scrappy word for today is craft fair. Have you ever had a booth at a craft fair? My daughter and I did a booth for a couple different craft fairs. It was really hard. It was very cutthroat in Florida in our area. It was more of an art thing where they wanted like hand-tooled, hand-sewn leather bags, and they do the artwork and some nice painted woodwork items. The things like this and my tote bags and zipper pouches and crocheted stuffies and stuff, at that time they didn't do very well. I think the crocheted stuffies are getting a really big resurgence right now, and they're really popular enough that I am looking at a few of the patterns that they're doing, and they're really adorable. Have you seen the crocheted stuffed chickens? They are so cute and so simple to make that I have the pattern listed. It's in my Etsy cart waiting for me to go ahead and grab it. Then of course I have to go to the store and pick up some fun yarn. And yes, I will be making chickens at some point this summer to put into my shop, because my shop is now going to be an online craft fair, and the chickens are just too darn cute not to do. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for putting up with my slow days and my fast days and my invisible days. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, we have a live stream this Saturday, the 15th, 11 a.m. Arizona time. Speaking of craft fair type items, I received this pre-quilted kit on how to make these little mug rug type things and coasters, or you can make them a hot pad, I guess, if you want to. It's from Quilting on the Grid, and I found this when I was unpacking some things, so I thought we'd go ahead and just work on these. I showed them in the last live stream at the end if you want to go ahead and take a peek at that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but maybe I'll do something fun. With 4th of July is coming up, Christmas is coming up, I might just do patchwork scrappiness, who knows. But if you want to hang out and see what this turns into, join me on Saturday, June 15th, 11 a.m. Arizona time, and we'll chit-chat and craft something. Bye.